What's up, everybody? Salute to Nick Nation, everyone. Happy Wednesday, December 1st, the beginning of the month. Winter is here. Holidays are upon us. Unfortunately, we didn't have a special holiday cheer last night. It was a great game. Knicks came in, a lot of energy. New starting lineup. Alex Burke got inserted into the starting lineup, like I mentioned in my last show. So was he gonna deliver? Were the Knicks gonna deliver? Were the Knicks gonna show up after beating Atlanta and holding them just to 90 points against this first place Brooklyn Nets, who's in the Eastern Conference? Let's get right to it. I'm Juby the Tubi. You're here with family above everything. And today, I'm thinking about last night. Today we got my boy back, my partner in crime, Mr. Zen Ray from Zen Ray Sports TV. And we're going to bring him here momentarily once he does his little intro. But the Knicks lost last night, 112 to 110. And just briefly, because I want to get into it with my partner here when he gets on, the Knicks showed a lot of heart. A lot of guts. We had the Julius Randle of last season show up last night. Finally, Julius Randle, the man who stirs the drinks, came up, showed up, including his gameplay and his attitude, because he was just Julius Randle of last year. He actually got a technical foul late in the game. Did it cost us? Kind of, but we still had a chance to win the game. Kemba Walker is out of the rotation, so Alex Burke last night ended up with 25 points and 5 assists. Played phenomenally. I'm so happy with that move so far. Right now, that move is looking like a top 8 move. Emmanuel quickly showed up. Derrick Rose was back, and my man Derrick Rose, like I said, salute to Derrick Rose he came back after being out for a couple of games, and he picked up right where he left off. He changed the pace of the game. He ran that offense. He was phenomenal. Obi Toppin did what Obi Toppin did. He got a little frustrated at the end of the game with the coach when he took him out in the fourth quarter with like 5 minutes to go. Wasn't too happy. He put his arms out and said, "Why are you taking me out?" And he's showing some frustration, man. The guy's playing defense. I'm going to talk about that in a minute with my partner. He's playing defense. He's having energy in the game. He's making a difference. I don't know why Nerlens Noel got 19 minutes last night. He wasn't doing anything. But the big reason, listen, we lost the game last night, 112-110. For those of you who didn't watch the game, free throw bonanza for the Brooklyn Nets. 22 free throws for the team. James Harden had, I think, 11 or 12 of those. And the Knicks had 12 free throws as a team completely. Julius Randle showed his frustration. It's probably going to get fined by the NBA and by the referee stating what he stated. That he's not getting any calls. And the referee's response was that he's built differently. He's too strong down in the paint. And they're missing the fouls. No excuse. The reason we're not getting these calls is because we're not bona fide superstars like LeBron James and Steph Curry. If we had anybody like that, you better believe it. But let's bring my partner, Zen Ray, with Zen Ray Sports TV, the man who's been missing from the last show, to get his reaction and see what he got to say about last night's game.
And Mitchell Robinson should just sort of raise his hands up and instead of poking at the ball, let the guards do that. But they shouldn't call a foul at the end at a crucial game like that. Let it go into overtime and let the best team win. Juby, the Tubi, family above everything, welcome. And I'm kind of disgusted with the refs, and I'm crying over spilled milk a bit. But hey, it's made an effort. If you want to call this a moral victory, the way they came out last night, collective as a unit, I finally saw some fire in the whole starting rotation. In the bench, as usually, comes through. But disappointing loss. But at the same time, the Knicks show that if they continue this path that Thibodeau's putting them on, the Knicks are going to be gangbusters at the end.
Absolutely, man. And salute to everybody watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up for you guys. We appreciate you guys being here. My partner has been missing in crime the last show, but he's back. And yeah, we lost last night. We'll take the moral victory. I hate to say those kind of words, but we did show a lot of promise. Listen, that move that Tom Thibodeau did, taking Kemba Walker out and putting Alex Burke, it's looking like a grade A move that he did. I mean, kudos to Tom Thibodeau. Right now, as of last night, Alex Burke looked amazing. Yeah, he had one turnover, which was costly during the game, but it's fine. Overall, he played a phenomenal game. But you said it, man. We're gonna touch up on it a little bit into it in a few seconds. But listen, the Knicks played with a lot of heart, lot of desire. We played with that swag. We had Julius Randle, like you like to say, the man who stirs the drinks.
He stirred him, all right. He stirred it. Besides opening his mouth a bit, he stirred it, but he kept his mouth open. Stir it, drink it, and keep his mouth shut.
Well, listen, not only the gameplay, we got the whole attitude of Julius Randle from last season. The man was incredible last night. He did everything in his power to try to get this victory. He should have been quiet and not pick up that technical foul, but we're gonna get into it why he was frustrated. Obi Toppin was frustrated with Coach Tibbs. We'll get into that in a second too. But I'm happy with what I saw. And like you said, if we continue playing the way we played last night, remember we played against Brooklyn, who have a James Harden, Kevin Durant, who are first in the East. If we come out against Chicago the way we came out last night, we have another chance to get a victory. And the teams that we are supposed to beat, if we play them the way we played Brooklyn last night, easy victory if we play like that. Because wow, what a difference! It's like night and day the last two games defensively and with energy and team orientated basketball, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Kevin Durant and James Harden, took turns on putting out one of the biggest performances on their largest crowd in Brooklyn history. So,
I think they were Knicks fans, though. I don't think they were Brooklyn fans there too much. I think it was more Knicks fans.
I think most of it was probably majority Knicks fans. Look, at the end, there was a couple of crucial calls. Before we get to those calls, I remember a few shows back, we spoke about that Kemba. In one of my shows, I said Kemba's not going to make it. Kemba's bad knees going to make it. He's going to be benched for quickly. And you were saying you were leaning more to Burks. I give kudos to you because you mentioned that Burks was going to be the guy, even though you're not a Burks guy, but you saw the experiment of Burks. I was saying quickly. So we were on the money about that. We knew that Kemba was not going to last. I told you that. His knees, defensively, couldn't hold up. But besides that, you called it on the head. That was a great show, by the way, last night. I saw you yesterday making the recap announcement on that. Thank you for that because I didn't know until I saw your show, be honest with you. But
appreciate it.
Let me say, those fouls that the Knicks were called on, especially the last foul, that actually bothers me more than anything else because those fouls at the end, Mitchell Robinson shouldn't poke at the ball. He should have kept his hands up high, and the defender probably would not get that ball off it because he was a little off balance. But I understand the referees were doing at that juncture, but sometimes a no call is better, especially when two teams. Fournier just hit a big shot. If anything you can say, he hit the shot a little bit too early with 17 seconds left. But Fournier was a key contributor yesterday. I mean, you think of Fournier yesterday. Fournier started off slow. He started picking up his numbers. I was saying at one point, man, this guy has to have a little more heart and desire, man. And man,
you took the words right out of my mouth. I was watching the game and I was sitting there going, everybody's doing great except this guy Fournier. What's his problem? He's playing with no passion. Then he starts hitting threes. And then he hit that one and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm going to shut up from now on. He did all right. I would like them to score 16 to 17 points rather than 13 or 12. But because, he's getting paid a lot of money. He's the starting shooting guard. We brought him here. But, he played. At the end of the day, I'm not even really upset at Evan Fournier today.
Oh, no. Fournier, look, if you could put those numbers up, Julius Randle in 40 minutes had 24 points. Robinson put a good defense. Let me tell you about Randle. It's probably one of the best defense I've seen Julius play in a long time. He took this game like
personal.
He took it okay. He played very good defense yesterday. Robinson, again, another defender who played good defense yesterday, had 8 points. Alex Burks, 39 minutes. I mean, what can you say about the guy? 25 points. Not only that, he dished out 5 assists, had 2 steals, had 1 block shot. He only had 1 turnover. He shot 4 from 10 from 3. He was 9 from 21 from the field. What a game. And Burks, I think we found the only thing with Burks you're going to get once in a while he's going to be very, very clumsy with the ball because he's not a really true point guard. So he may have a couple of turnovers that will have you scratch your head. But I'll take that. If you put performances like that, I don't mind a couple of turnovers that are boneheaded turnovers. But he's not a true point guard. And we go back to square one because we don't have a point guard. They're going to have to figure that out along the way. I see some kind of trade coming up to find a point guard. Or they might just experiment with this and keep that Alex Burks quickly and, maybe even bring a Deuce in there and make this point guard work. But Fournier, when I get to Fournier's numbers, 22 minutes of play, he had 13 points, and it didn't look good in the beginning. He came on strong toward the end, and Barrett, I think someone was saying he had some kind of flu symptoms. I don't know. He played anyway. But I think Barrett has to go in that second unit. You put him in that second unit, he's going to play much better.
He did yesterday. I don't know if anybody caught that. For you guys watching, RJ Barrett started the game, but he took him out right away. And then in that second quarter, and Bron Rose in, and then in that second quarter, RJ Barrett played with Derrick Rose, Obi Toppin, and that's where he was doing great. So that's definitely going to be something we're going to see a lot more of. I anticipate that's going to be a new thing. I don't know if it was done intentionally or if it was just happened to go the way the game was going. But real quick, I know you heard about the trade rumors. I don't know if you have or not. Already they're starting with the Kemba Walker. Teams are calling the Knicks. Please, for the love of God, do not touch John Wall from the Houston Rockets, New York. Leave that man alone. I understand.
If it's a one-on-one trade and they eat some of that contract, I would experiment with that too. I mean, why not?
Yeah, but he's over $45 million for one season.
I wouldn't touch that contract. You would have to eat like not even half. You have to eat like 3/4 of that contract for me to even think about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they'll do that. We'll throw you a Kemba and we'll throw you a draft pick, but
Kevin Knox.
We'll throw you a Knox as well if you want. But in terms of something of value, no, we'll throw you a nice second round pick with that. But look, they're desperate to get away from this contract. I think the Knicks are going to bite for. The Knicks would have to be. How many years left he has in that contract? Another 2 years?
2 years he has left on his contract. We got Kemba Walker for 2 years. I think it was $10 million for 2 years. And this guy is 2 years. I don't know if it's 45 per season or 45 combined. I'm not sure, to be honest with you guys. But unless they take some of his contract, like you said, I really wouldn't want to touch that guy. I mean, listen, it's crazy. I mean, I saw Kemba Walker playing. I mean, sitting on the bench yesterday, cheering Derrick Rose, cheering the players, which is a nice thing to see. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a professional. He's a good guy. I think he knew all along that. Look, he can get a spark. He's not the same guy. When you listen, in any sport, it happened. I'm gonna go back in the day. Joe Namath, man, was probably one of the greatest quarterbacks New York ever had. And when he came out of college, he had already bad knees. And he persevered. He used to play with basically doing nothing, and he still carried the Jets to a Super Bowl, but he couldn't play with his knees. So knees are, and even till now, to this day, when you have a knee injury, especially in his capacity from the wear and tear he had, you can't play with bad knees, man. So I understand. Listen, I give all kudos to Kemba, the career he had, and what he's done in the past. But look, I knew it. We saw it. Thibodeau is a hard defensive-minded guy. There's no way his knees are going to keep up with the regime or the toughness that Thibodeau wants you to play with. And if you have bad knees and you can't play defense for Thibodeau, I'm sorry, you're not going to play.
Yeah, that's true. Another person I would have liked to get more minutes yesterday, besides Obi Toppin, of course, was Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes got 3 minutes yesterday. I would have liked to see more Quentin Grimes, especially in that fourth quarter. I felt like the defense was good yesterday, but when you got a James Harden and a Kevin Durant 1-2 punch, maybe a Grimes would make a difference a little bit on the other guys against James Johnson, who,
I don't know. I think the Knicks defensively they played well, so he saw the guys playing well. Even Fournier, for his lack of defense, sometimes he played pretty decent defense. But Rose, if you look at his time there, in 35 minutes, Rose has come back after 2 days, not playing 2 games, and not playing for the Knicks. He was a plus 11, 16 points. He was 6 from 13 from the field. 2 from 6 from the 3-point range, had 5 rebounds, had 9 assists. He was a beast last night. He was a beast. He was the one that kept the game close at the end. He reminded me of that game 4 against the
Hawks.
game 5 against the Hawks, that he was just taking over at the end. Listen, Rose played very well last night. Randall's back to his old Randall of last year. So far, so good. Burks, that insertion of Burks, Thibodeau knows what he's doing. I mean, that wouldn't have been my first choice, but I'm not a coach either, and I'm not in the organization. It would have been quickly, but hey, kudos to him. Burks is I think Burks and Grimes are top 2 perimeter defenders on the team. They play some hounding defense, you know.
Yeah, I agree, man. Listen, Quincy Grimes should have played for sure. Alex Burke, 25 points last night, 5 assists. Played fantastic. Is this gonna be set in stone, the starting lineup? I don't know.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now,
For now,
they play the way they played last night. I think this is their lineup.
Then absolutely, I completely agree, and I think they can get away with him being a starter because you can do so many rotations, and with Derrick Rose and Emmanuel quickly still being in there, those guys. I mean, you saw Derrick Rose bring up the ball while he was in there. You saw Julius Randle do that. So, like you called it the other day, Julius Randle's gonna play a little bit of power forward, point guard, point forward, which makes it.
He did a lot of that last night. Yeah.
He did, and he looked good doing it.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's good. Listen, this is the Randall we saw last year. He was point forward. He brought the ball up because we didn't have the point guard when they took Alfred Payton out. He brought the ball up and stuff like that. And even when he was in there, Rose was in there. You really had no point guard. So I think they have to play like point guard by committee, and by using Randall and his skills at that point guard forward position, you have to use it now. Because right now, technically, besides Rose and besides maybe McBride, who doesn't play at all, those are the only guards who really true point guards.
Did you see what McBride is doing in Westchester Knicks? He just dunked on somebody the other night, had a highlight play, threw it down on him, got fouled.
Manovic is as well as playing well out there. Those are the 2 future guys. These guys are young guys. This Manovic that's the guy they picked up that the Spurs dropped. He's only 22 years of age, and McBride is like 20 years old.
Yeah,
the Knicks have something going on there, and I think right now, a lot of people talking about trades and stuff like that. I wouldn't doubt if they start promoting internally, man. You know?
I think they should just stop with the trades. Unless you can give me a call and you want, I don't know, somebody for like Damian Lillard, and it's not crazy. Just leave my untouchables alone. I'm not gonna go over who my untouchables are, but that's the only thing I would listen to is a Damian Lillard kind of player. Anything else, or Karl Anthony Towns, I might listen to also. But anything else, leave it alone. I like the young kids. I like what they're doing. I know we're 11-10 right now, and we're still good on pace. I mean, listen, we just made the change to the starting lineup. The last 2 games, I've seen a completely different Knick team. They're like I said, they're playing of the team of last season. You can see that Kemba Walker, and like I said, I'm gonna go back to him real quick. It's not his fault, but you can see that he was not meshing well with the other starters. You can see just by Julius Randle's gameplay, and you said it, Julius Randle and Obi Toppin were on the floor at the same exact time. I would like to see that more. We spoke about that in the past. I'm going to get real quick on Obi Toppin. Coach, you got to give Obi Toppin some more minutes. 12 minutes is not enough for Obi Toppin. You gave Nerlens Noel 19 minutes who didn't do nothing. 3 rebounds for a 7-footer. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think I would have given like Noel. I would have taken 9 minutes from Noel and given that to Obi. At least you go back to his 21 minutes. But how do you decrease his minutes? Okay, he's a 20-minute per guy sometimes. How do you give him 12? What did Obi do bad in your eyes that you only give him 12 minutes? There's
nothing.
That the coach saw and he didn't see that. I don't know. I think maybe he wasn't playing lack of defense. I don't know. I saw it some.
No. The defense on Kevin Durant, I saw it. Listen, this is Kevin Durant we're talking about. 7-foot guy who could shoot over anybody. He's one of the best isolation players besides, along with Carmelo Anthony and everything. So he was playing Kevin Durant at one point, and he was doing good. He was playing. His defense was good. I didn't see nothing. The only thing I saw was him take a crazy, I think two threes that looked like it came from outer space. His shot is just horrible from
His
3 point range.
Yeah, his he's projecting too high up, man. I mean, last year he was hitting it. Even early in the year he was hitting them. Right now he's woo, and I think he's not shoot. I think he's shooting like from below the waist. I don't know. It's not the Obish three that you saw from last year or the beginning of the year. I mean, even the summer league he was hitting his threes. I don't know what happened, but he's not hitting them now. That's not the main part of his game. He brings the energy and intensity, and he goes down low and he does his thing. And you're right. I think he should have given him at least another 5-6 minutes more. I mean, there has to be a reason why he got 12 minutes.
And Quentin Grimes only 3 minutes.
Well, I think Quentin Grimes. Like I said, the Knicks defense was playing so good at starting rotation. That's the guys he was going to go with. I don't think at a tight game like that, being so close, you're gonna bring a rookie in there. So I think he wanted to go with his veterans and his guys.
Yeah, but that third quarter was a big problem. Remember, we were losing at one point in the third quarter by 18 points, and I
thought it was done, but it showed the resiliency. That's where you saw Fournier started heating up, Rose started playing well quickly off the bench, 12 points, +9. To hit some key 3-pointers. But if you look at Quickly and Rose, I mean, Quickly had 7 rebounds. I mean, Quickly hit the boards last night. He had 7 rebounds. He had 2 assists.
Yes, sir.
If you look at the rebounds between Quickly and Rose, they collectively had 12 rebounds together. And these guys are guards, the small guys that were hitting the boards. I was impressed by that last night.
And who are 6'2", 6'3", and then you got a 7-footer who got 30-something million, who got 3 rebounds last night. Ladies and gentlemen, teams who are out there, Nerlens Noel is available. Please, Portland, you want Noel? Take him. We'll give you 2 draft picks.
To come to his defense, the guy's playing with some bad knees right now. His knees, he got an injury. He's playing with a brace. You see him. I mean, he's not, and he still hasn't gotten to rhythm yet. No, I think he's going to be fine. I think you have to give him benefit of doubt. But let me go over some numbers of our nemesis, the Brooklyn Nets. I hate to even look at these numbers, but Durant was Durant. 41 minutes of play, getting all the calls, obviously. I'm going to cry about some spilt milk again. Getting all the calls, had 27 points, was a +10, had 1 block shot, 5 rebounds, had 9 assists. He had a great game last night overall. Aldridge had 8 points, +11 in 32 minutes of play. Mills, 10 points, 10. But our killer was James Harden, 40 minutes, also getting the calls, was 11 from 20 from the field, 3 from 8 from the 3-point range, 9 from 10 from the free throw line, had 10 rebounds, had 8 assists, and he had 5 turnovers. But you know who are the 2 leading team players in the league that have the most turnovers, right? It's Westbrook and Harden. They lead the league. I think it's a ridiculous number. They always lead the league in turnovers. That's their Achilles heel, if you want to say. So the numbers, if you look at Harden and Durant, those are the 2 players that killed you. No one in specifically. Cam Thomas off the bench at 12 points. Look, the Knicks played their heart out. If anything, you could complain about. You gave up 112 points to the Brooklyn Nets, but you scored 110. It came down to a couple of defensive stops, but I won't even say defensive stop. It came down to a couple of bad calls from the referees.
I was just going to say, we lost because of officiating. You can sue me, refs. So I'm going to say what I got to say. Listen, just because we don't have a LeBron James, a Steph Curry caliber player, does not mean that you're not going to give us the same exact respect and calls that you give players like that. Hold on, Aiden. Like Julius Randle said it last night. He said he asked for his explanation, and he said that the referees told him, "You're built differently. You're too strong down there. We don't know that you're getting hit." What kind of excuse is that?
I would like to know the referee's name who said that.
Oh my God!
That's what Randle is saying, which I'm pretty sure it is.
It is. You saw his reaction. He was like, he was sitting there and he was like, yeah. because I watched his post game, and he was like, they were like, wait, the referee told you that, and he was like, listen, I'm not gonna get into it, but yes, he basically said that I'm too strong and that they're missing the calls because my body is not reacting like somebody who's not as strong as me. That's like a Shaquille O'Neal days, and
Right.
it's just crazy, man. Like you got to give the man the same amount of respect. James Harden was getting found. Kevin Durant dunked that Derrick Rose tapped him on the elbow. That's what I mean. That's something that you don't really have to call, but they did it because that's Kevin Durant and he missed the dunk. So
That's it. That's
you
it.
know,
If he would, you notice the whistle blew is after he missed the dunk. If he
of
would have got
course.
that dunk in, they would not call that because he missed the dunk. They said, "This is Kevin Durant. He missed the dunk. He had to get fouled." Look, it was the call was after whistle was blown after he missed the dunk. It wasn't called at the moment of the foul or the so-called foul. So it tells you there's a lot of politics in terms of giving fouls to the superstars. And look, sometimes you deserve that. But I'm gonna put a number up where the Knicks kind of lost this game at. You give up a lot of fast break transition points, and the Knicks give up 19 fast break transition points. And they scored 19 points. The Knicks only scored 13. That's where we kind of lost the game. I mean, transition-wise, we weren't getting back on defense. And I think I saw a couple of plays. It had to do with Obi had a play that he didn't get back on defense. I don't know if that's the reason why Thibodeau pulled him out or only gave him the 12 minutes. But I think in one instant, Obi missed an assignment, and it was a fast break point. He was on his man, and the guy got it. I forgot who it was. I think was it Harden? Remember when Harden went down the middle a couple of times, slam dunk.
Oh yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
lot of the transition there, and I don't know if it was Obi. It like collected the whole team, but I'm still kind of confused why Obi only got 12 minutes. What did Tibbs see that we didn't see that effectively he felt Obi was ineffective playing last night? I don't understand. I think that's gonna be kept inside house. I think Obi's gonna say the right things, obviously. Yeah, you give up 19 fast break points. You give them an advantage. That's 6 points you gave them an advantage of. And the Knicks had 12 turnovers. Brooklyn had 13. So the Knicks scored 11 out of the turnover points. They made some ground there. The Nets had 9 points out of the turnovers. The Knicks had 27 assists. The Nets had 27. We had 5 steals. They had 7 steals. We shot 48% from the field. They shot 48% as well.
Pretty even.
We shot 34 from the 3-point range. They shot 28. So toward the end, we were hitting those threes. That's what kept us in the game. That's why we made the comeback from the 18-point lead. Because to be honest with you, you're on the road and you're down by 18 against Brooklyn, and they have Harden, these guys playing well. I didn't think, to be honest with you, I don't think the Knicks had a shot coming back, but they did. It shows how much heart and desire that starting group had. So I give more kudos to the Knicks, Randall, and it's a moral victory. I'm still concerned about, and even since last year, Randall, Barrett, these guys never got the calls, never, even in the playoffs. So that's something the Knicks have to kind of just play through, and hopefully they start getting calls.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, right now we have no bona fide superstar. Although our superstars are Julius Randle for us and all these guys, but to the NBA, we're just still a young team, and we have to still establish our name. It looks like, and we're not going to get those calls at the end of the day. But I just think we should stop fighting with the refs and try to look other places that we can improve, like getting to that free throw line. I know that referees didn't call a lot of plays, but we shot a great free throw percentage, but only went to the line 12 times, 11 for 12 from the free throw line yesterday. Points in the paint were phenomenally. I love our points in the paint. It seems like we're pulling back a little bit from hoisting 45 to 53s, and we're kind of having a balance. This was what I said at the beginning of the year that we're going to need to find eventually, is because those 3-pointers are not going to always fall, and you got to find a balance. I would have liked to see Jericho Sims last night. It's another player. Instead of, if Noel is not 100%, let him sit down. I understand. I respect him. He was really good last season for us. Jericho Sims played great the other night, and then you don't give the man no minutes whatsoever. And I understand that Tom Thibodeau got to cut his rotation down. He likes to go with either 9-man or 10-man rotation. But when you got a guy who played the way he did the other night, experiment just a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's your take on that. I don't. I mean, I still think it's the first quarter of the season. We still have three more quarters to go, so maybe things will change. Like I said, maybe this Alex Burke thing will work, and maybe it won't, and we might see another lineup change. Before Fournier hit his shots yesterday, I was gonna say maybe it's time for make a Fournier change, but the guy
Yeah.
showed up, and I stood quiet
I'll give you 19 million reasons why they're not going to make that change.
because the
You're
money.
not going 19 million, yeah. You're not going to do that. I mean, between Randall and him, they're making what? How many millions between what's Randall getting? 20 and 19, so they're making almost $40 million a year. Yeah, you're not going to do that. You have to work through that. Fournier, if you do something like that and you put him on the bench, you're admitting to the fans saying we screwed up, and after to
Yeah.
trade up, it doesn't look good. I think Fournier is going to get there. Fournier is a new cat in town. You have to give him some chances. Remember, the Kemba experiment would have worked if he played some defense. He wasn't playing the defense.
He's
Fournier
too
at
small
least now he's
too.
starting to catch up on the rotation. I mean, he's not the greatest defender, but you can cover up for him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because he does defend, he does try, he does hustle. I think the Knicks are on the right track. Brooks is going to be your long term point guard. You still can have a rotation that's going to give Grimes more time, more minutes. Coming off the bench here and there. Obi Topping has to get more time. I think we all agree on that. I think the next game we play is on Thursday.
Against the
Chicago comes to
Chicago.
town. We have to pay back there to pay back. I'm calling. I think the Knicks are going to win this. After that game in Chicago,
I
I
want to
think
see
the Knicks.
Quentin Grimes on DeRozan. That's all I want to see.
Yeah,
Quentin
yeah,
Grimes
yeah.
on DeMarcus DeRozan.
Oh, you can put Brooks on him because Brooks starting right now. Remember now, with Brooks in that lineup, it makes such a big difference defensively. Remember, and you have to have continuity as well. Kemba is taking a day off here, a day off there. Couldn't play 2 days from now. Your starting five has to be the same people over and over and over again. So even if you start Barrett, like you said, and you bring Rose in after 5-6 minutes and have Barrett run that sticky unit, you're still consistently having Barrett there for the first 5-6 minutes with the team collectively. You were having no kind of consistency, no continuity, having Kemba there one game, not there one game, not there another game because his knees hurt. He has 2 days off, night off back to back. So you couldn't do that. You need continuity. They made the right move. Let's just hope and pray Burks don't go into his injury woes because he does get injured 2 or 3 times in a year. So let's just pray there because we'll go very thin. If Burks there, then you're gonna have to start Rose and it just messes up the whole rotation. So I don't be fooled by a lot of the stuff that's going on. I wouldn't doubt if the Knicks pick up some kind of other point guard, even if even bringing Deuce in here to get some playing time. So if we get another injury in the point guard situation, you're gonna see some Deuce. And Deuce, the way you were saying playing in Westchester, that guy can ball.
He
That
can.
he's undersized, but he plays defense. He's undersized, but he plays defense. He's almost the same size as Kemba. So, but he's 6'1", probably an inch bigger than him, but still, he's undersized, but he plays defense. He's young, he's hungry, and he's offensively, he can play as good as
He
his
plays above the
defensive
rim.
game.
Plays above.
I can't wait to see him.
Plays above the rim too. That's another thing. Kemba Walker doesn't do that. He doesn't have no hops to him. Not anymore, at least. Nate Robinson was once a good guard for us, and the reason why Nate Robinson didn't work out too is because he was an undersized point guard. And undersized point guards in the NBA are a dime a dozen. You don't find too many. We had the Allen Iverson, Muggsy Bogues. Those days are over. Point guards now are normally big men who are like 6'5", 6'6". With the exception, of course, Chris Paul. But I feel bad for him. I wish they would have gave him maybe 10 more games just to see if he found anything. But I understand the move that they made. Right now, like I said, on paper and based on results, the move looks great. So I know Tom Thibodeau is giving himself a little pat on the back so far. But we'll see. Like I said, my only concerns are getting Obi Toppin some more minutes, us staying healthy, and us coming out with that same exact energy that we came out the last 2 nights. If we keep that energy and keep that ball movement and that defense, sky's the limit. Orange and blue skies. There's no telling what we can do.
All right, that sounds good, Juby. I mean, we played the Chicago Bulls coming up Thursday. It's a 8 o'clock, 7:30 game at NBA TV, and it'll also be an MSG as well. I look for the Knicks to beat Chicago, a little payback there. If the Knicks play the way we played against Brooklyn, I see a good victory coming up on Thursday. So we'll be on. We could do the game. We could do the show right after the game.
Let's do it right. Let's do it right after. Let's do it right after.
Game afterwards, and we'll go from there. And I appreciate your news alert yesterday on the benching of Kemba. And with that said, Zenray out. We'll see everyone on Thursday. Thanks for everybody watching out in New York and around. And, keep on doing what everyone is doing. Be enlightened by the universe, showing love, peace, and gratitude, knowing that the best is yet to come. Juby, Zenray out.
Later, my brother. All right, guys. That was Zenray with Zenray Sports TV. Back at it with me again. I wanted to thank you guys for coming out and checking us out today. If you check us out afterwards, when we're not live, please don't forget to hit that like button for us. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that follow button. Share it with your friends to keep up with all news, Knick news, up to dates, changes. It's a lot of fun. We do this for fun, and we're here all the time talking everything Knicks, NBA, anything you guys want to talk about. But with that said, I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day. The holidays are upon us. And stay positive, stay safe. And as always, family above everything, guys. Peace.
We are the New York Knicks. 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 Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. We're back on track, here we come. League is starting 21 and the Knicks are on a run. And I'll tell you with tips, we have Victor Webster handle. With Barrett, Bullock, Burst, and Randall. It's the Knicks and we're taking back our place. Everyone's gearing up with a mask on the face. The guard's going crazy and they're doing it for a reason. 21 is the Knickerbocker season. You better believe the Knicks got all that it takes. We're shooting 3-pointers and we're running fast breaks. And if your defense makes a mistake, then bam! Robbie Duncan's in your face. This is a team you don't want to miss. We are New York. We are the New York Knicks.